Good evening. It seems you're awake. I truly hope the trip wasn't too difficult now, was it? Well, on behalf of Murkoff's corporation, I would like to earnestly and sincerely thank you for volunteering. You see, we were recently in quite short supply of volunteers lately. We had a few new additions to our ongoing experiment. Hence, we had lower return rates than expected. However, since you've already read through the contract and signed everything for us, I'll continue with the physical evaluation before we prepare you for our trials, per se. Do forgive me. My name is Dr. Cat. I am a research scientist, you could say. There's quite a few of us working here. However, for me particularly, I am in the Murkoff Research and Development team. Essentially, I see in the new hires, new volunteers per se, ensuring that they are quite healthy and fit for our trials and experiments. Luckily, although you do seem quite healthy, given our previous checkups on you, there's a few things left that I want to make sure. If anything, we can work around it and ensure that there's no issues. What's that?
You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are deserving.
I mean, it might be quite confusing given the vastly different environment you're in. However, we do have the signed contract that you did for us. You can get a copy of that if you'd like. However, right now is not really a good time. Can you see my fingers? No blurriness.
The Murkoff Corporation encourages you to maintain a positive
Good.
mental attitude.
How many fingers am I holding up?
The choice is always yours.
Very good. There doesn't seem to be any issues with your vision. That's good. You see, for this experiment, as mentioned in your contract, we will be adding a few modifications to you just to ensure that this experiment goes smoothly. We have a few different items here. For the first edition, we have these night vision goggles for you. Although we still have a few finishing touches to add to this, we will ensure these are safely fastened to your head. We have temporarily attached bolts just around the side of them to ensure that if you fall down, if you trip, or if anything knocks into you any way whatsoever, these won't come off. Of course, they still do require a battery to operate. However, we prepared a separate device for that. We will get these on in a little bit. Of course, we will ensure that these are fitted properly to you. We want to ensure your best results after all. Let's see. I'm going to quickly take your measurements just around your upper chest. I want to ensure that we have a properly sized equipment for you. Hold still for me. Let me just grab this. Okay, hold still for me. Wrap this around you. Put your arms up. Okay. Not bad. And just a little bit lower. Can you put your arms down? Very good. You see, we have this interesting device. We personally call it the ESOP, which is short for our Experimental Special Operations Platform. You see, this tool will aid you during your experiment. We have our main rig here. We decided to start you off with stun. Although you can always visit Cornelius later to switch it out or get a different option. Improve it, upgrades and whatnot. We thought this would be the most vital one for you at the moment. This can be used to operate and use your rig. It can be used to power the night vision goggles. Overall, this is something quite essential to have on your person. Similar to the goggles, we will ensure that this won't come off of you. However, we still have a few things to do before we attach everything. What's wrong? You seem quite confused.
The Murkoff Corporation encourages you to maintain a positive mental attitude.
I see. Well, my apologies. I should have explained that from the beginning. You see, you will be participating, given your status of a volunteer, in trials to help
The choice is always yours.
create a safety net, per se. Our director, Dr. Easterman, has decided that for the safety and well-being of all, certain individuals who have willingly volunteered are best suited to undergo an operation, trials as we call them, to train and prepare for the future. During these trials, you may encounter a few prime assets or your trainers, individuals who want to motivate you and ensure that you improve. Coil, who is a quite popular choice among many reagents and volunteers. As for the others, you have Gooseberry, who is, as you could say, quite thrilled to assist you with any medical issues. Any pains you may have, especially for your teeth. As well, you have Franco, who is a little bit gung-ho about his family opinions. As for the twins, you have Otto and Aurora, who are quite bonded per se. As well as my personal favorite, and our newest addition to our experiment recently was Lilia. Quite the unique personality. You always have the X-Pops as well. Individuals, either fellow workers like myself, previous Murkoff employees, or individuals who wanted to ensure the salvation for all of us. You see, Easterman was quite thorough in who he selects. Either way, fellow volunteers or reagents such as yourself will be heading into these trials to complete them, just to see how the experiment continues. Eventually, you'll be able to walk through a door and regain your freedom, or be re-civilized and reintroduced to the general population. Now, I think I've explained that quite well enough. No questions? Very good. Let's see here. Just to go over a general gist of what you'll have to do, you may have to, quote unquote, fight back or distract those prime agents or X-Pops, as I was previously mentioning. You see, while they are mainly here for your training, and they do want you to succeed with Murkoff's main experiment, they also like to provide a bit of an additional challenge. So we recommend using any bottles that you may find within the trials themselves, any bricks, or even the stun rig, as I mentioned prior, to distract or even briefly stun them to help complete your main objectives. You'll find these just around the trials themselves. Of course, the more difficult you choose to engage in each trial, the less common they will be. However, I do implore you to use them, as we are watching your performance and gauge how useful you are at using your resources around you. Now, as I previously mentioned, you will be required to use batteries to fuel both your night vision and the rigs themselves. For the actual stun, or if you choose to switch it out, we have these things called rig rechargers, which you can find around the trials. Of course, most of them are hidden behind a lock, so we do recommend looking for a lockpick. We have prepared these batteries for you to use. While we do have a few X-Pops who also have to use them, they tend to prefer the night and dark zones of our trials, so do be on a watch out for them. However, in case you do end up falling or encounter a unfortunate situation, we have prepared many healing and medical devices. There's quite a different range of them. You could find a small medicine bottle, which are quite common around the trials. If you look in more medical boxes, either by opening them with a lockpick or finding some that are already unlocked, you may find yourself fortunate enough to either find a large medicine or some bandages. The bandages, this is especially beneficial if you're bleeding. These tend to stop the wounds quite well. Just ensure that you have enough time to wrap yourself up. We've had many cases of individuals who found them but didn't have enough time. Quite the unfortunate thing. Of course. Well, you do seem in a worst case scenario event. We have prepared a few precautions. You see, when you enter these trials, typically you will enter with a few other reagents. Those who are less skilled may have some difficulties or overall don't have exactly what we're looking for, may find themselves in quite unfortunate situations commonly. Thus, if you wish to aid them after this unfortunate encounter, we have prepared multiple medical devices, you could say. These are found quite commonly in the emergency glass cases around the trials. You'll have to take off the cap after breaking the glass. Ensure you can find a vital area in the chest. Press it in and gently inject it in. Be mindful of your general safety and proximity and of your surroundings, as when you are injecting it, the individual who is receiving the medication may be quite loud and thrash their body around quite often. Just to keep that in mind. Although you do seem like an individual who is quite adaptable, so I don't feel like you'll have any issues now, will you? Brilliant. Please do forgive me for a moment.
Make sure that all protocol has been finished.
Understood. I am just briefly finishing up the orientation with our newest volunteer. I do believe they will be quite the nice fit. Hopefully we'll be able to send them in quite shortly.
The choice is always yours.
My apologies for that. You see, we're in quite high demand recently. We have a few security issues recently. None that you need to worry yourself with. Alright. Now, there's a few other things you do need to worry about. We tend to have a few reagents that could be such as yourself who decide they wish to aid us in training the new recruits. While you'll have quite a bit of time before you can encounter or join these individuals, this is something that you currently will have to watch out for. These individuals are a bit more violent, per se. They will enter the trials with a weapon of sorts. They tend to look quite similar to your friendly reagents that are working with you to finish up these trials. However, they will enter with a weapon used to slice or stab at you. It is very vital that you can tell the difference between friend and foe. You can feel free to use a bottle against them, either to deter them into returning, or you can use this to alert other prime assets or X-Pops to their location. You see they are still in training as well, despite them aiding and assisting us. So of course, our prime assets and X-Pops will educate them as well. Just some minor advice. Of course, if you do prefer to do this alone and you don't wish to have another with you, more of a solo individual, we have prepared a very similar device, quite similar to our medical device used to aid your peers or possibly yourself. These we have prepared some pills. You see these pills be used to give a bit of a extra chance if you're bleeding or quite injured or essentially passed out. By having these with you can give you a second chance. Of course, we always do recommend going in groups, as it'll be a much more enjoyable aspect. As I previously mentioned, you'll be able to visit Cornelius if you want a different rig. We personally prepared the stun rig as we thought it might be a bit of a easier one to get used to. However, if you prefer a healing device, we can have that prepared for you. Or if you prefer something called a jammer. However, if you're more of the scavenger type, many would pick the X-ray instead. Of course, if you're working in a group, as previously mentioned, we do recommend having a variety. The most common, and in my opinion, the most useful, would be both the jammer and stun. Gives you a little bit more room to fight back. Of course. Now, besides Cornelius, we have a few others who could be quite useful for you once you continue forward. After you finish your first few trials, we highly recommend that you visit Nurse Emily. You see, Nurse Emily is quite skilled in giving prescriptions. You can use these to increase your stamina, increase some strength per se, and teach you new skills. Of course, do be mindful, and if you have any issues with your heart, any unexpected thoughts, we do like you to report it to us as soon as possible. So please do let us know. Brilliant. Let's see here. I do believe we've done a good summary of essentially what you'll be doing. However, do you have any questions for me? Of course. It's quite a common question for us. You see, Easterman, as I mentioned before, is quite considerate and is preparing for the vast and unexpected future. As you may remember of the Cold War happening and this ongoing worry, we want to prepare for the future and ensure that we have strong, capable candidates willing to step in when needed. You see, after you have proven that you are quite adequate and skilled in multiple ways, you will be allowed to enter through a door and earn your freedom. This freedom will be well deserved by then. Of course, we'll keep track of how many trials you do, your performance of them, and your overall ratings. We will either give you some tokens to keep track of your ongoing progress.
Murkoff wants you to be
In the meantime, you'll be able to stay in your dorm, as you can call it. You are equipped of a standard bed, a radio, restroom, shower, and sink. You're more than welcome to customize it as you wish. This isn't something that has to remain static. You can switch it up anytime you'd like. Once again, we highly do encourage that you participate in any events that we have going on. Recently, we had a new expansion of our trials, one that Coil took quite an interest in. Well, I truly do look forward to seeing you succeed and prosper within our trials. Before we continue our addition of your equipment, is there anything else I can get for you? Water, any questions you may have?
The Murkoff Corporation encourages you to maintain a positive mental attitude.
Brilliant. Well then, we will finish up the final additions onto your night vision goggles before we'll add them onto you. I will also send over the measurements I was able to collect from you to our production team. They will have your own personalized rig and ESOP device prepared. We do recommend you taking a short nap just until it's ready. By the time that you wake up, you'll have everything already attached for you. And do keep in mind that after each trial, you'll get a personalized evaluation by Easterman. So do your best and ensure you come out quite successful for us. Once again, I sincerely thank you for volunteering. We see quite a bright future in you. Very well now. You should get some shut-eye. By the time you awake, everything will be all ready for you to start your first trial. Don't worry about a thing. I've finished the evaluation and explanation for our newest reagent. I do recommend that we set them up as soon as possible. They seemed to be the curious type. Any questions and concerns, per se?